Fritz.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
The Bears. The Bears.
I am the great Cornholio.
We'll see what happens.
Playoffs?
See, Sean McDonough, Jay Billis. Goats.
Can you play a song? Something cool.
Put my mic on.
I'm calling both games.
Oh, baby.
Are you serious?
Goes down the field for Smith.
Oh, he got it.
See how we're getting ready for Cincinnati.
Welcome back to the Mike's Madness YouTube channel. And in this video, this edition of Mike's Madness, we are getting to the Final Four simulation of the men's basketball tournament. Excuse me. Happy Saturday. It's like day 27 or something with in quarantine, and day. Ooh, let's see. What day of it of no sports are we at? We are at day. I don't even know. Like probably like day 30 without sports, something like that. I don't even know. It's been a long 20-some 30 days or whatever it is. It's been a long span of days. It just seems like this is, it's kind of like when you're in like elementary school and in middle school, and you're thinking about just, how you're at school, and you kind of have that feeling like you're never going to get out of school. Like you just feel like you're going to be in school forever. And that's kind of like how this feels. And then like with that, it's like you graduate and then you're like, wow, how did I get through that all? And it's like the same thing. I feel like, sometimes I just feel like it's never going to end and we're going to be here forever. But, I know that's not the case, hopefully. And I just hope that everybody is being safe and healthy and all that good stuff out there. So it's definitely tough. It definitely is, different for all of us. And it was funny. Just the other day I was thinking, and I was like, man, I really missed the radio show because I had, I could play a song, I could listen to the funny commercials. I could, just do what I like to do. Sure, I had to wake up early for it, but, that was the thing. I had 3 hours to do whatever I wanted to do, to talk about whatever I wanted to talk about. And it was great because, I could talk about sports. I could talk about whatever. I had song requests. I had, some of the listeners were having questions, and it was just fun. So I miss it, but at the same time, I'm also kind of glad that I don't have the radio show, because at a time now, I'm thinking, geez, 3 hours to talk about what? Like right now there's no sports, and sure, I could talk about, how things are, the NFL draft is going to happen this month, which I've given my thoughts about that. The NBA draft, NHL season supposedly trying to get going in the next month. MLB rumors. I could talk about all that. Basketball recruiting, basketball transferring. I could talk about all that, but it's not the same. It wouldn't have the same flow as the format I had of my radio show, because I would get to what was going on in the sports world, and then I would have some of my takes on things, where now it would be almost like a watered down version of it. And, I guess some things are better than nothing. And, like that's the thing. I would be doing this on the radio program, and I'd probably be uploading it to, the YouTube channel as well. But I would be doing this I would probably even be recording it and then playing it on the radio show. Because again, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? There's not much to do. And so in that respect, I am good. I am glad that I don't have the radio program. But at the same time, I do also miss it, because it was just something I enjoyed. I really enjoyed doing it. So I'm already looking forward to that next semester. And I have been thinking about writing for the newspaper at school, and whether people read it or not, it doesn't matter. I'm just I'm thinking about writing. Um, I might start doing that next week, and I might write about the day that coronavirus, the day that the sports world completely stopped, and just write about some other things. Like I said, the rumors going on with the different sporting leagues trying to get started. My thoughts on the NFL draft somehow still happening this month, and who knows, even the transfer portal as well. So, if I do go ahead and start writing for it's called the Snapper. I will put the links to that on the Twitter channel, or the Twitter, Mike's Madness Twitter, and I'll start putting it in the descriptions of the videos. Now, again, I haven't uploaded a video all week, and for the very reason that there's just not much to talk about anymore. I could get to different things, the transfer portal, as I just mentioned, all that stuff. But I don't know. I might have an episode in the middle of next week. I don't know. It's just like I just miss having stuff to do. So anyway, getting to the Final Four simulation, we've got the games of the Final Four. We've got 10th seeded Cincinnati Bearcats trying to continue their improbable run. They're in the Final Four, so Cinderella is definitely fitting for their run. And we got also the 5th seeded Michigan Wolverines. Then we've also got 5th seeded Butler Bulldogs taking on the 3rd seeded Maryland Terrapins. Now, Butler, if you've watched the other simulation videos, they had gone on and won the Big East tournament in the simulation. So looking to go to the Final Four. Looking to go to the championship game. They're already at the Final Four. And if you're watching this video and you've watched the other ones, you may notice that the backgrounds are a little different. So I spiced them up a little bit because it's the Final Four simulation. And yeah, we're doing pretty good. We got some good stuff here. I got my cat here purring and laying down here. So yeah, we're all getting ready to watch the Final Four simulation here. First game, as I said, Cincinnati and Michigan. Take a look at the uniforms. Michigan going with the gold uniforms. They're actually called maize for those Michigan fans who know. With the blue trim, and Cincinnati with the black uniforms and white trim. And I hope the coffee cup is sticking to the coaster. That's always a good sign. We get to the starting lineups here. And, excuse me, that was the coaster I just knocked off the table. In regards to Michigan, one of their bench players, David DeJulius, had entered the transfer portal, and I think he's down to 4 schools, which are Iowa State, Florida State, I think, and 2 others. But Maryland, he had recently taken off that list. And the reason that Maryland was on that list in the first place is because one of their assistant coach, or not the only reason, but I'm sure that one of the reasons for that was that one of the Maryland assistant coaches, DeAndre Haynes, wasn't an assistant coach at Michigan in prior years, so had that little connection there. And speaking of transferring news in regards to Maryland, Ricky Lindo Jr., as you know, had entered the transfer portal I think last week, and he announced yesterday that he'll be going to George Washington University, and probably 2 reasons for that. I think Lindo's from DC, so that makes sense, staying home. And another thing is that one of the assistant coaches there was a former Maryland assistant coach, so kind of had that connection, and it was close to home as well. So should be a good fit for Lindo. It's a shame to see him go because he would have gotten a lot of playing time had he stayed next year, with Maryland's front court being absolutely diminished with Jalen Smith declining for the draft, and we're missing out on a couple of transfers, and now Lindo had transferred. So I think we're down to like 2 people in the front court. Shoal Mariel and Dante Scott, and I guess Joshua Tomaic as well. So three guys. So Maryland is in need of definitely in need of a front court player, as one of the ones they're pursuing is set to make his announcement today at noon. So that'll be interesting to see. I think Quincy Ballard, 7-foot center. He's down to Florida State, Syracuse, and Maryland as his top 3. And again, he's making his announcement at noon today. So that'll be interesting to see. All right, final score, winner, moving on to the championship game. That video coming out on Monday. And can I get a drum roll? Bum 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 bum. Sorry, whatever. Drum roll. And Michigan wins by 7 points, 80-73. And Michigan going on to the national championship game. And I believe they had gotten to the championship game a few years ago. I think they played Villanova in the championship game. I think that was 2016, was it? I think it was 2016. Either 2016 or 2017. I'm not sure. Correct me on that. I'm not really sure when that was, but I do remember they played Villanova in the championship game in the past 5 or so years. Next game between Butler and Maryland. Uniforms. Maryland going with the these black uniforms, and you might see some like white fade towards the bottom. Well, they are called heritage uniforms, and they've got all these different numbers that are like have historical factor to Maryland. There's like 2002 for when they won the championship game, 34 for Len Bias. There's all kinds of different ones, like 3 for Juan Dixon. There's all kinds of different numbers in there. There's words in it too. I think there's like Cole Fieldhouse in there. Maryland is probably in there somewhere, I bet. So they got all kinds of different things. Those are probably, they had heritage uniforms that were white. They had it was like around the shoulders was like the heritage in like gray, I think. And those were good uniforms. I did like those, but these uniforms are probably one of the most underrated uniforms in Maryland history. Or during my time. I think they're one of my favorite uniforms. I honestly did though forget about them because I think they've only worn them a few times. And I forgot about them. And I saw it and I was like, oh, I remember those uniforms. Those were great. I loved them. And one of my favorite uniforms that I wish they would have worn more. And I think I'd actually, the game in these pictures, I think is at Ohio State. And I think I was at that game. I'm not sure though. I think I was at that game because I do remember them wearing those uniforms. But at any rate, Butler going with the white uniforms with the blue trim. Starting lineups for this game, there you go. The same starting lineups for the past few rounds for both teams. And we get here, final score between Butler and Maryland. Winner takes on Michigan in the championship game on Monday. And the winner is Maryland by a point, 67-66. And the simulation, as I've mentioned before, how I run it is I take the simulation 3 times, and then the average score of both teams is the quote-unquote final score. And I wasn't sure which way this one would go. The numbers were so close. And, I think the first one, Maryland won. The second one, Butler won. And they were both by pretty big margins. And then in the third one, I think Maryland won. Whoever won the third simulation was a very slim margin of victory. So I was like, ooh, I don't even know who's going to win this. But Maryland moves on, and we'll have a Big Ten matchup in the championship game on Monday, which should be quite interesting to see. And yeah, so here we go. We had Cincinnati and Michigan and play, and Butler and Maryland as well. And Maryland and Michigan, as I just mentioned, will be playing in the championship game, and that video will be coming on Monday. And once again, Maryland and Michigan. I accidentally just did that real quick. Let me go back. Oh God, record. Oh God, this is not good. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, I accidentally went to the end of the slideshow before it was ready, so that was interesting. Sorry about that. Jeez. So yeah, as I mentioned in another video, I didn't really get any feedback on it, which, whatever. I was thinking about having uniform madness, like college basketball's top uniforms of all time. You guys would vote. I would have 64 teams or 68 teams. I don't know. I would do something, but I would have you guys kind of send in your favorite uniforms of all time. You know what I mean? And for college basketball. And if you want, I could do it for any sport. I could do it for baseball, Major League Baseball, National Football League, NBA. I could do it for anything you want. Just I'm just looking for something to do. So yeah, if you guys have some favorite uniforms of all time in any sport, actually, I'm gonna change it. Any sport, NFL, NBA, MLB, college football, college basketball, whatever. Your favorite uniforms of all time in any sport, send them to me. I will put my Twitter and my email in the description. Or yeah, you could send it to my Twitter, my email, or you could even put it in the comment section below. It doesn't matter. But your favorite uniforms of all time, I want you to send them to me, and I'll put something together. I'll do something. So yeah, do it, please. That would be great. And other than that, that brings us to the end of the Final Four simulation video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, a thumbs up would be great. Again, send me your favorite uniforms, sporting uniforms of all time. Any sport, doesn't matter. Just send them to me. That would be wonderful. And subscribe for weekly videos. And also leave a comment down below. That's always welcome. And other than that, I'll be back in the next video. I'm out.